The Chicago BlackHawks investigation report is out, and it ain't pretty. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. So, the Chicago Blackhawks investigation into the sexual assault charge against Brad Aldrich has been concluded, and it came out on Tuesday, the full report. I have it. I read a lot of it, and it's very graphic. And it's very disgusting. And I'm angry. I'm angry about what happened and what the management group of the Chicago Blackhawks who were involved in this, and what the players themselves allowed to happen, sweep under the rug. It's a stain on the league. It's a stain on the team. It's a stain on everybody involved with the NHL, in my opinion, right now. And they've got to do something and take care of this properly and move forward, or else. I prepared a statement. I'm going to read these are my feelings on what happened. The NHL is evil. How do I come to terms with that while I continue to run this channel? It's a good question. So I shop at Walmart because I can't afford expensive shops and stores. I shop sometimes on Amazon for convenience and because I can't find some things anywhere else. My cell phone is from Bell Canada. My internet provider is Videotron. Why am I telling you all this? Because these are corporations I think of as evil. I use them out of necessity. I don't like it, but I have to live on what I've got within my means. Does this same motivation apply to the NHL? That's what I've got to work out for myself. As a lifelong fan of hockey, the Habs, and the NHL, it's a painful question in light of the news coming out of Chicago since Tuesday and Florida yesterday. So why Florida? Joel Quenneville, that's why. The Florida Panthers didn't have the balls to tell Quenneville, sorry, but no, you're not coaching here anymore. Despite that, it's clear what he did is in 2010. He thought, well, I guess they thought, the Hawks management team thought, winning was more important than people's lives. They thought lying and sweeping it under the rug was better. They put a stain on the BlackHawks organization and the NHL, including every other team in the league, and it's shameful. And quite frankly, that includes even people like myself, because we follow the NHL. We're talking up the NHL every day on video. It's a stain on everybody. To the players from that 2010 team that are still in the league and deny any knowledge of it, shame on you for covering up for the team and the league at the expense of your teammate, one of your own, a brother. Retire now. We don't want to see you on the ice anymore. My respect for you has been shattered into pieces. Gary Bettman is evil. I have no qualms to say that. We all know that he is. He's been covering this up for 10 years. No excuses. This is something that's really weird. Bettman is a fellow Jew like I am. I'm a Jew. Yet he went to the Catholic Church last night to get advice on how to handle the meeting with Quenneville and Cheveldayoff. What the freaking hell is that about? Makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Doesn't to me. He has to go, and he has to go now. They have to try to cut this scourge out of the league and try to move on, but ignoring it and letting Quenneville coach and Cheveldayoff manage is out of the question, in my opinion. Can't happen. I realize they may not be able to fire Quenneville and Cheveldayoff because of something that they did on another team, but they don't have to. They can pay them and let them go their own way. Pay them. Didn't fire them. They don't have to coach, and they don't have to general manage a team. Is this too woke? Is it too woke? No, When it comes to sexual assault, it's not. It's not about being woke. It's about being moral. And if you're going to bring up the Habs, because I know I'm a Habs fan, so people are going to bring up the Habs first round draft pick last year, or this season, I guess. Don't. I'm on record how I feel about that. And I wasn't supporting it at all. And in saying what I said, what that kid did, and how Montreal is handling it is not even in the same ballpark as this shit that went down behind closed doors in the Chicago organization and in the NHL boardrooms. In conclusion, I'm pissed off at the league that I've loved my whole life, and I demand to see some change and reform, and I want to see that happen now. Not next year, not after the general manager's meeting, not maybe sometime in the future. It needs to happen now because this isn't tolerable. All right, I have some stuff kind of, I guess, all over the place about what happened here. So I'm just going to try to go through it. Here's one of the reasons why I want to see I want to see him go. I mean, I agree with this. Let's put it that way. Joel Quenneville cannot remain in the NHL. That it seems he will be coaching last night, which he did, because this was from yesterday, is just another sign that the NHL hasn't actually learned anything from this horrific situation. And they haven't. I'm going to go here. The NHL is evil. When all this first came out, someone tweeted about how weird it was that everyone who's no longer in the league knew about this, but everyone still employed by an NHL team had no idea. They never heard of anything. I didn't know about it. And yeah, it's kind of weird that happened, and that shows the power and the stretch that the NHL has over the players and the coaches and all that in the league. They weren't allowed to talk about it. They were afraid to talk about it. Once you're out of the league, I guess not as afraid. For anybody that wants to say Marc Bergevin should go as well, I'll only say this. Bergevin has said that he did not know anything about it. He wasn't involved in any of those meetings, and in the investigation, nothing has come out. He was not implicated. So this is what Teague Wilson, he's a writer for the Hockey Writers. If Bergevin was implicated in the investigation with the NHL BlackHawks, I would want him to step down as GM of the Canadiens. That's exactly how I feel. But he wasn't. So I will not want him to be fired for something he may or may not have had knowledge of. I would have to think and trust in the fact that if Bergevin, who cooperated, by the way, he was interviewed, he cooperated with the investigation, that if he was involved, he would have been mentioned, and he's not mentioned anywhere in that report or in the conclusions that he came up with. Taves on Bowman and McIsaac. Stan and Al, they're not directly complicit in the activities that happened. Huh? It's not up to me to comment on whether they would like to deal with it differently or not. I have a lot of respect for them as people. They're good people. He said a lot more than that. I have zero respect for what he said. He had to have known what went on. He denies it. He had to have. He was the captain of that team. He was the captain. How did he not know when a lot of players said everybody knew? Duncan Keith. I'm glad we didn't get him. Two things. I'll go with Duncan Keith first and then the other one. Please remember that Duncan Keith said today that he had no knowledge of the assault at the time, that Brad Aldrich seemed like a nice guy and that he never interacted with Brad. The literal video coach. Keith wore an A with the team at the time. How could he have not had contact with the video coach as an assistant captain or an alternate, however you want to call it, on the Chicago Blackhawks? Huh? That can't be. And if he's saying that, then he's obviously lying and he's holding back something. Alan Walsh, I woke up this morning and Brad Aldrich's name remains engraved on the Stanley Cup. It needs to come off, and now. That is something they're going to need to do over the next little while. They're going to have to take that guy's name off the cup. He shouldn't have his name. How he's not in jail, I don't think he's in jail. How he's not, I don't know. He also went on to, they gave him a letter of recommendation. He went on to another team a high school team, I think, and he assaulted another young man, 16 years old. It's disgusting. Hawks suck. So this is somebody also, no respect for Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, who had his sexual assault case covered up, maybe glossed over, swept under the rug, paid somebody off, or any of the other former Hawks who lied about having no prior knowledge. It's just awful. So Kyle Beach is the guy who came out as John Doe, as the one who was assaulted. He did an interview last night, and it was horrible. It was horrible. He was apologizing to the 16-year-old kid because he didn't come out and say anything, and like it's his fault. Like, really? He says of Joel Quenneville, I witnessed meetings right after I reported the assault to James Gary that were held in Joel Quenneville's office. There's absolutely no way he can deny knowing it. And they let him coach last night after all this came out. Donald Fear. He says, this is Kyle Beach saying, I was on an NHL roster when this happened. I know I reported every single detail of this to someone at the NHLPA. And for him to turn his back on the players when your one job is to protect, I don't know how that can be your leader. How can he still be in this job? He's going to, in my opinion, he has to go. This is what he was told. The Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation, which licenses certified counselors, has opened an investigation of Doc Jim Gary, who is not an actual doctor and who allegedly told John Doe number one, that's Kyle Beach, the sexual abuse he suffered was his own fault. That guy, I don't know if he's still working anywhere, needs to be fired. That's disgusting. That's a sexual assault. You get raped, you're assaulted, it's your fault. Really? Since when is that? I don't know. Did the world turn upside down? I don't know. I think that's it. I'm disgusted by it. I don't know what else to say. Leave some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up.